Hey, how are you? Welcome or welcome back to the channel. Here I am again on my walking pad, ready to look at some Reddit posts with you, my dear. I thought in this video we could take a look at r/relationship advice. We haven't looked at that one in a little while, and I did go ahead and look at some titles and picked out a few, and my goodness, some of them seem very interesting. So let's strap in and take a look at them, shall we? Starting off interesting. My boyfriend, who's a 25-year-old male, is into something called feederism, and he just asked me, a 22-year-old female, to gain 200 kilograms. That is a lot. So for my American friends out here, or the people on the imperial system, there's roughly, I believe, 2 pounds in a kilogram. Is that right, or is it the other way around? Yeah, 2 pounds in a kilogram. So that would be like 400 pounds. That's the amount that he wants her to gain. Okay, so this is a lot. So OP says, my boyfriend, who's a 25-year-old male, and I, 22-year-old female, have been together for around 6 months now. When we first started dating, my weight was around the normal range. He expressed that he would love to see me gain weight regardless, and that I should let myself go because he preferred chubbier girls. Let's continue. I was okay with it, and I gained around 10 kilograms. Girl, is that for you or for him? Because let yourself go, is that like you were trying to keep like a nice figure because you thought he would like it, and then he said no, it's cool, don't even bother, and then you gained 10 kilograms? Or was it that you already gained that for him? After that, he told me to try and gain even more, but if I didn't want to, then it would be fine. I should bloody well hope so. You know how I feel about people who tell other people what to do with their bodies. I kept an open mind because I thought maybe he had some kind of fat fetish. I said I'd think about it, but I never gained any weight after. My weight after was steady, and he was upset that I stopped gaining weight, at which point I realised this was a big deal for him. He then told me that we can only be together if I were to gain 200 kilograms or more. From how the conversation went, I understood this to be something other than fat fetish, but didn't know the word for it. Didn't know what the word for it was until I was scrolling on Reddit and found a community of feederism, which involved a gainee and a feeder. I felt like this suited what he wanted better. He only wanted me to gain this much weight, and not him claiming that it turns him on when he sees me stuffing my face with food, etc. I don't want to consider breaking up with him because I love him and I want to try and make things work. I just don't know anything about this community. Can one partner refuse gaining weight? Will he always like bigger girls? I really don't know what to do. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. First and foremost, I'm not familiar with feederism and what this community is, right? But OP says it seems as if it's not that her boyfriend likes to see her eat. He just wants her to be heavier, which to me sounds then like it doesn't match this idea of gainee and feeder, because if someone is feeding you, doesn't that mean there's something about the act of you eating and gaining the weight? That's the thing, or is it just he wants you to be a certain weight or a certain size? So that's first and foremost. Like, I don't have any experience or knowledge of this community, fetish, preference, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I'm not a fan of people telling other people what to do with their body. I don't care if it's someone telling you to put on weight, to lose weight, to change your hair, whatever. I do not think it's okay for someone to tell another person what to do with their body. So, what's this person asking? Can one partner refuse gaining weight? Absolutely, of course you can. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Will he always like bigger girls? Don't know, don't care. Understand that you want to try and make it work, but why doesn't he try and make things work? Like, I think that's pretty fucked up, to get into a relationship with someone and then immediately be like, hey, can you gain weight? And then after they gain weight and stop gaining more weight, be like, if you don't gain a ridiculous amount of weight, I'm gonna break up with you. Like, that's pretty fucking manipulative. Like, I don't care how much you love someone, how nice they may be to you in other regards, if they're going to give you that sort of ultimatum, if they think that they can control your body like that, girl, don't put on the weight. Like, if you don't want to be the one to break up with him, okay, just don't gain the weight and let him do it. Or if you feel the way I feel, if you come around to being like, fuck that, no, I'm not going to do it, then break up with him. I don't think this is okay. I mean, I think in general, regardless of what people say, even if they think they don't have a type, everyone generally has things that they prefer, whether consciously or subconsciously. And if he prefers people who are on the larger side, that's fine. But that doesn't mean that he can tell somebody to become that or else. Do you know what I mean? I'm not okay with this. Damn. I'm interested to actually see some of the comments on this. For feral Americans, that's £440. That's not big or chubby, that's absolutely massive. This can't be real. This isn't a preference or even a fetish at this point. This is your health. This is true. I don't want to just look at one thread. Is it all just on this one? Damn. Or are these? This is insane amount of weight to intentionally gain. Unfortunately, it makes sense in the context of feederism, which is a horrible and real fetish. He wants her to need the electric car at Walmart. That's not helpful. Thank you for saving me from a Google search. Yeah. Okay. Don't think the comments are really that interesting. In British terms, yeah, it's an additional 31 stone. So someone of my height, which is like about 5'2"-ish, would be around the mark of like 8 or 9 stone, or like around 110 pounds. So this is a lot. Damn. Okay, let's look at the next one. I am a 27-year-old male and told my girlfriend, who is a 24-year-old female, that I would break up with her if she yelled at me again. So she agreed. She did it again 2 weeks later. For context, I think I can seem like I'm overreacting, but here's my view. Well, what's the story in the first place? I grew up with average parents. They rarely exploded on me, my brother, or each other. I always saw screaming as an instant turn-off, and I had never been yelled at this hard by anyone, let alone a girlfriend. This happened for the first time several months ago. For what reason? I said I was sleepy, and she demanded a declaration of my love at 3 a.m. Oh my god. When I said not now, she threw her bedside lamp at the wall a few inches away from me and screamed her lungs out. So it wasn't just yelling, it was also violence. Like, whether she actually hit him or not, it's certainly the threat of violence against him. Maybe she even meant to hit him, but missed. I don't know how, but I forgave her. There was a second time that I can't remember, and she bit my hand as I was reaching for the door. Also forgiven. The last time before today was a couple of weeks ago when I said I was skipping lunch, and she freaked out because if I don't eat, she can't. Since when? She yelled louder than any yell I've ever heard. This was the last straw for me, and I said it loud and clear. If this happens again, I'm not even having a conversation. She agreed. Today, I wanted to go to the gym alone. The problem is, we have a wedding tomorrow, and I'm one of the groomsmen, so she's demanding an answer now. Are we breaking up? I was able to buy some time, but I'm not 100% sure I'm being fair, as her car was stolen this week, and it's been a tough one. Any quick answer? No. You've already said that it's happened, 3 times? That she's not only yelled at you, but either been violent around you or actually physically fucking assaulted you. This was not all in the space of 1 week, and even if it was, just because someone has a bad day doesn't mean that they're allowed to act that way towards you. Break up. Like, this is not a good situation. I mean, imagine like if the genders here were reversed. Do you know what I mean? I think it would be clearer somehow to a lot of people that that's not okay, but also, you know, when it's the woman in the relationship being violent towards a man, same rules apply. Like, that's not okay. Oh man, not cool. Okay, next one. I, 21-year-old female, cheated on my boyfriend, who's a 23-year-old male, with the girl that he wanted us to have a threesome with. Oh, how do I go from here? Girl, let's find out what happened. So OP says, me, 20-year-old female, and my boyfriend, 23, went out for drinks on Wednesday. He's recently been talking about wanting to have a threesome with another girl. I'm bi, but I'm monogamous. I told him I'd be fine to try it once just to please him, but we didn't plan when. So we went out clubbing and he hit it up with a girl. I wasn't expecting it, but he basically made out with her and introduced her to me. It was super awkward, but she was very nice and cute, and we were all drunk, so I ended up making out with her as well. My boyfriend presented the idea of a threesome to her and she was down. She followed us home. We continued drinking for a bit and she ended up getting very wasted. Like, we were chilling in the sofa and she was half asleep or close to passing out and slurring her words. That's not a good situation, hun. My boyfriend tried to kiss her and stuff and she wasn't doing anything back because she was basically unconscious at that point. You both need to get away from her and leave her be. I had to get between them to stop him and he got upset with me. He was also quite drunk, but still, exactly. I told him he sleeps on the sofa tonight. Good. I helped the girl to her bedroom. We have a big bed, so I didn't feel weird sleeping there with her, but somehow we ended up cuddling, lol. Morning after, woke up with her in my arms, talked for a bit about the night before. She asked if anything happened and that she was sorry for getting so drunk, etc. And pillow talk was so good that we ended up sleeping together. So basically, just to be clear, while the girl was extremely drunk, nothing happened. They just slept in the same bed, and then after, when they were chit-chatting, that's when they slept together. So basically, I cheated on my boyfriend. I don't think he noticed or heard us, and he was pretty much passed out for the entire day. But how do I go from here? I'm very uncomfortable with the fact that he tried to take advantage of her, like trying to kiss and touch her while she was way too drunk. Thank you for recognising this. And also, I cheated on my boyfriend with the girl that he wanted. I feel so bad and I haven't told him yet. We haven't really spoken about it at all. When was this? On Wednesday. Today's Saturday and this was posted a day ago, so it's been like 3 days, right? So I feel so bad and haven't really spoken about it at all. This is my first real relationship. I'm trying to navigate and he's never tried to take advantage of me, but the fact that he tried it with her makes me so nauseous. Because what if I'm too drunk one day? I never get that drunk, but still. And he tries to have sex with me while I'm on the brink of passing out. Just need some insights from someone on the outside, please. Like, is this a dead end? Oh, this is hard to say. How long have you been together? Doesn't say. I mean, let's take it from the top, okay? The fact that you were both out clubbing and then he bumped into this girl first, they started talking, and then they started kissing, seems like OP didn't expect that to happen. So seems like the boyfriend raised the idea of having a threesome in the past. Girlfriend said, yeah, okay, we can try it. And then he just goes out and kisses another woman without explicitly being like, hey, what about this person? Do you mind if we, get physical and see how things happen and we can propose it to her? Sure. It was just assumed that was okay for the first point. So I personally, if I was in that situation, I wouldn't be a big fan of that. And OP says that it was super awkward, so seems like she also wasn't really feeling that great about that situation either. Then let's jump to the fact that OP, essentially cheated on her boyfriend. One could argue, and this isn't necessarily the way I feel because I'm not sure how I feel about it. One could argue that she didn't cheat on him per se, she just did what he did at another level, right? So they said that they were going to have a threesome, which means that they're going to be doing things, the three of them all together, but he and her already did things, just the two of them. So is it that different if she and her just do stuff, the two of them? I don't know. I don't know, but what I'm basically saying is I understand how that can be seen as cheating, and I can also understand the argument for it not being cheating. So I would say that would be something to talk about with boyfriend if you want to continue this relationship. Then that brings us to the thing of him trying to get physical with this other woman while she was not in a position to consent, essentially. So OP's asking some good questions here, like what if he does that to me? Like he's never tried, but she also doesn't tend to get that drunk. I think if you are asking yourself the question, then trust your instincts, trust your gut on this. Because it's like, do you know that way sometimes it's not that anything specifically happened, you just kind of get the feeling that maybe something might be a thing. And I think that if you really were sure that like, oh no, like he would never, whatever, which is a little bit contradictory because it's clearly not that he would never, because he just did try, right? Yeah. I mean, I think as well that if someone is, like if he was so intoxicated at the time, it's absolutely not an excuse, but it does mean probably that he was also even in less control of himself than he normally would be when he wasn't drunk. And had she not been there, OP, who knows what would have happened? And I think that's the real issue here. So if OP is feeling some type of way and is wondering, like, asking yourself, do you know what I mean? I think this will continue to bother you. And I think any other time you see a little bit of a sign, it'll just be like, suspicion. Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, in a lot of these posts as well, we see stuff about like, oh, I love him so much, I trust him so much, you know, he would never, blah, blah, blah. Like a lot of things along that line. But OP isn't saying that, which makes me feel as if, totally assuming, not knowing any of them, which makes me feel as if OP is a little bit like, I could go either way. So I think, yeah, I think turn the car around and go another direction, personally. What do y'all think? Is that cheating or is it not cheating? Like, gosh, how would you feel if that happened? Like to you, how would you feel about that? Oh my goodness. Next one. I, 22 female, went through my boyfriend 26 phone. You know we don't like that, but anyway, it's happened. And found pictures of my younger sister, who's an 18-year-old female. I mean, she's of age now, but you know, and we've talked about in a previous episode about an age gap. So this is like an 8-year age gap. Okay, so OP writes, I went through my boyfriend's phone and found pictures of my younger sister and multiple girls. Oh, I'm so hurt, but I still love him and I want to forgive him. See, do you know what? This is what I was just saying. Usually this is the kind of thing that people say, but in the last post they didn't do any of that. But yeah, sorry. So I still love him and I want to forgive him, but I was so angry, I told my sister and my family, and now they all hate him. Oh, I thought I was going to say, now they all hate me. I'm jumping the gun a bit there. Now they all hate him, but didn't the sister know? Or, did the sister not even know that he had pictures of her? Let's keep reading. He came from a relationship where he would have threesomes and crazy stuff like that, and I think that's where this stuff comes from, his dark fantasies. He's an honest, great man. I don't know what to do. Should I forgive him? Is he honest? If this is like the situation, I don't know how to bring him into my family knowing all of this happened. People don't know him like I do. I wish I didn't say anything and just worked through it. Anybody ever deal with anything like that? What did you do? What was the outcome? Please, no negative comments. Girl, this is the main thing that I'm wondering. This thing of told my sister and my family, now they all hate him. I thought the sister and the boyfriend were having a little something on the side. But does he just have pictures of her without her knowing? Because girl, there's no excuse for that. Absolutely no fucking way. No excuse, right? But even if they were having a thing on the side, well, that's him cheating on you then, right? So he's obviously not honest and a great man. And then the pictures of the other people, now I'm wondering, like, were they also like consenting to him having pictures of them? These multiple girls? You know, and like also to try and be a little bit fair, like when are they from? Are these from like before you were together? I mean, obviously an argument can be made that one should delete intimate pictures of a person once the relationship is over, but we don't know what kinds of pictures these were. But I kind of feel like it's implied. Do you know what I mean? I don't think this is a good situation. I haven't dealt with something like this, but girl, I think you're kidding yourself here. I mean, sounds like she hasn't even talked about it with him. But she's saying as well, I don't know how to bring him into my family knowing all of this happened. I don't think your family want him being brought into the family. And the fact that you're like, I don't even know if I want to bring him into the family, is I don't know how. Girl, this is not a good situation. Please, no negative comments. How? I just want to see what some people are saying. You're making up excuses for him. Sorry, but he's a creep. This is absolute deal breaker, even with the apology. Did he apologise though? Did he? Did I miss this? I don't know. I don't know if he did apologise. Maybe I'm missing it, but should I forgive him? Girl. Anyway, let's move on, because I think we know the questions I have and how I feel about this, okay? Let's look at the next one. So I am a 32-year-old male and received a random text that my wife, 30-year-old female of 5 years, is cheating on me. Ooh. Received a text today from an unknown number. Your wife has been cheating on you. Sorry, person. She told me at work. Obviously thought you should know. I tried reaching back out, but it says it's disconnected and no longer in service. Damn, covered their tracks. Maybe a Google number, and then immediately asked my wife about it, and she said that it's simply bullshit. Okay, so good that you asked. I think that's important. Ex-wife of 12 years ago had an affair that really ruined me, so I'm hoping that this is a common troll and that I don't need to take it seriously, but I'm having some serious anxiety now coming back from my ex-wife's affair. That's understandable. I love my wife and haven't seen any obvious signs of cheating. I don't find myself super oblivious, but at the same time, I didn't catch on to my ex's wife's cheating for a couple of months. Thoughts? Whoa. This is a hard one, because if I'm being very honest, I'm inclined to believe someone who says, by the way, your wife's cheating on you, your partner's cheating on you. Don't get me wrong, there could always be a malicious actor who just wants to get in between the two of you, who's just making shit up to stir the pot. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know, am I too gullible? Am I too trusting? I kind of feel like unless there's someone in your life or who's trying to get into your life who you think that must be that person, like this is all, you know, it's all a pattern, or it's, you know, conceivable that it was this specific person just saying it because. But if this is completely out of the blue, if you don't know who it is, like I would be asking, well, they said that it's someone from work. Who do you think that it would be? Who do you think that it could be? Why would someone say this? Does someone have something out? Like, does someone have something against you? You know, maybe it's not that they want to get with OP. Maybe it's that they just hate the wife. I would be asking questions like that to try and like figure out, well, why would someone say this? I completely understand that, like, yeah, you haven't seen any red flags, like, you weren't suspicious of your wife, but hey, stuff happened with the ex-wife, and now I'm a little bit paranoid. I completely get that. And what I would say as well is that I've been in at least one situation where, like, someone was all up in my DMs, like, trying to move the conversation a certain way, which I didn't go to, but it was pretty obvious. And they had told me that they had broken up with their fiance/baby mama, as in already had one child and was pregnant with another one, told me that they had broken up with them, and then a little while later she messaged me and was like, by the way, just so you know, we didn't break up and he's also been messaging other people. I was like, oh my gosh, just so you know, nothing happened, I'm so sorry. She said, yeah, no, don't worry about it. And then they dealt with it amongst themselves and I didn't speak to them again. But yeah. What was that they asked? Thoughts. Those are my thoughts. I don't have any advice for you, really, honestly. But I would be asking questions. I would be trying to get into this, because it sounds as if like I would be that way, where I would try and get over it, but until certain questions were asked and answered, it would be very difficult for me to forget about it, unless I trusted my partner so much that it was like, this is obviously not true. But seed of doubt, whether that came directly from current wife or if it's just from the ex-wife, that's a tough situation, man. That's a tough situation, I'm sorry. Those are my thoughts, but don't have any advice. Next one, these are juicy today. Like, I've been waiting for the juicy ones, and I'm glad that we've got quite a few here. Next one, my husband, who's a 33-year-old male, says that if I, 32-year-old female, don't make him happy, the Bible says to divorce me, which is fucking news to me, because I thought divorce was like a complete no-no in Bible religions. Let's read, shall we? So Opie says, my husband, who's a 33-year-old male, and I, 32-year-old female, have been married for 8 years and we have 4 kids. Over the years, he's become more and more verbally abusive and disrespectful. He's very talkative and he criticises to no end, it seems. The hard part is, I'm on the receiving end of his criticism, and he's always without fault no matter what. He's got major as a narcissist, I'm guessing, tendencies. Let's not try and diagnose other people. Moving on. We were arguing last night until 3 a.m. We've been arguing much more lately because I'm standing up for myself instead of being an emotional punching bag. Good for you. I work from home part-time, cook 90% of the meals, homeschool our 2 oldest children, clean the house and play with the kids all day, every day. My husband works by driving for Uber. Aside from that, he waters the grass and plants and takes the trash out sometimes. He said that the Bible says if the wife is not making the husband happy, he has the right to divorce her. This is the verse he's referring to, and I think that's a complete mistranslation of the verse. Deuteronomy? I don't know what this word is. 24:1-2, King James Version KJV. When a man hath taken a wife and married her, and it come to pass that she found no favour in his eyes, because he hath found some uncleanliness in her, then let him write her a bill of divorcement and give it in her hand and send her out of his house. This is a Bible verse, apparently. Can anyone verify? Is this real? He says it's not his job to make me happy, so he doesn't try, but apparently it's my job to make him happy, and he can give you all the fucking abuse he wants. Let me know if I'm wrong. You're wrong. Also, he's insisting now that we have nothing in common because I don't smoke weed and listen to rap 24/7. Like, dang, is your perfect match Snoop Dogg or something? I don't think he smokes weed anymore. I don't know. Snoop Dogg does a lot of things. He's like playing basketball, he's getting degrees. Maybe it's just guns he doesn't do anymore, but I don't know. I don't keep up with Snoop Dogg's life, okay? Or Snoop Lion, whatever you want to call him. Is he your perfect match or something? Or are you able to compromise a little? Lol. I don't feel like I'm solely responsible for his happiness. You're not responsible at all. People are responsible for their own lives and their own happiness. Unless they're like kids. It has to be his choice to have a good attitude and perspective. It can't be my fault if things fall through sometimes. Update, I told him that since no matter what I do, he's not satisfied, so there's no point in being together and we should get a separation. He said that's not what he wants at all and he wants me to fight for him. So you're basically threatening divorce when you don't actually want to get divorced. You're just using that as a way to manipulate your poor wife. Girl. I said the only person I have to fight for you is you. He said, I'm so sorry, please just spend more time with me. He sounds like a manipulative fuck. Like, what was it she said at the start? He's becoming more and more verbally abusive and disrespectful, criticising her all the time, not pulling his weight in the home, and then threatening her with like Bible verses of divorce. And then when she says, fine, let's get separated, then he's like, oh no, please don't, let's just spend more time together. No. I think that you know what you gotta do, and I think you gotta just Go for it, trust yourself. You don't want the fucking hassle. Who does? Like, who wants to have to fucking deal with that? Someone who's like, it's your job, it's your responsibility to make me happy, and I don't have to do the same for you. I don't think either person in a relationship has the responsibility, the job, or the duty to make the other person happy. That's like all kinds of like codependent shit and unhealthy, right? Like we've talked about before, someone else can make you happy in the sense of, I'm so happy we're together, you're such a nice person, I'm glad to have you in my life. But your happiness shouldn't hinge just on that one person or any person. Like, I think that, you know, as OP has said, you know, you're responsible for your own life and your own happiness. You have to choose to see things in a more positive light. You're totally fucking right. Like, if he has decided that it's, you know, somebody else's job to make him happy and that he has no responsibility for his own life, he's never going to be happy. And if he's being like abusive and critical towards you, seemingly like for no damn reason, then no, you don't need that shit. You don't need that shit. So I hope that OP is sticking to her ground here, saying that, you know, he's not satisfied, so yeah, let's get a separation. I hope that's the way she is going. One more I picked out for us. One more. Oops. This one. Is it okay for me, 36-year-old female, to give my husband, 39-year-old male, a final warning that I will leave if nothing changes? Yes. Because if that's the way you feel, you give him a chance to change it, and if he doesn't change it, too fucking bad, I'm away. But let's read it anyway. So my husband and I have been together for 13 years in total and married for 2 of those 13 years. For all of our relationship, my husband has held a job, but in early 2018, he quit his job to go to an extensive coding boot camp. It should have taken only about 6 months to go through all of it, but because he dragged his feet about taking care of things every step of the process, he was unemployed for a full year before landing another job. He worked at that job for about 10 months and then quit without even telling me in January 2020. He has been unemployed since then. It's now 2023, so that's been 3 years that he's been unemployed. He decided to go back to college to try and finish his bachelor's instead, but this turned into argument after argument where I felt like he wasn't taking it seriously. I saw him put maybe 5 hours of work a week, if that, into school, and also not taking care of anything around the house. He eventually quit school in October 2001 and has been a complete NEET, I don't know what that means, for coming up on 2 years now. Meanwhile, I've been working full time, supporting both of us for the majority of the past 5 years. I got married to him because we've been together forever, and for the majority of our relationship, especially at the beginning, I would have called him the more responsible one of the two of us. I just feel like if he could get past whatever mental block he has, I would get the man back that I had before 2018. But obviously it's not happening. I can't count how many serious conversations he and I have had where he'll start doing more around the house for like a week before going back to doing nothing. He insists he's not depressed. I was wondering about this too. We had a huge blow-up fight 3 weeks ago where I told him that I can't do this forever. He told me 3 times at the end of that fight that he would find a job. Well, 3 weeks later, and he has done absolutely 0 things to work on finding a job. I don't think he spent 1 second on it. The first week after the argument, he did spend way more time doing things around the house, but on this 3rd week, I think he spent a grand total of like 30 minutes doing things around the house. As I'm writing this post, he's been sleeping in bed the whole day while I work from home. It's like, if I'm not mad at him, taking care of things doesn't even enter his mind. I'm constantly stressed every single day thinking about this. I'm at the end of my patience, which I feel like I have been excessively more patient than anyone else would be in this situation. Yet he makes it out like I'm unreasonable to be mad at him or have a problem with this. I feel like waking him up and telling him this is the final warning about finding a job. If he hasn't started seriously applying to places in the next few weeks, then I'm done. But when we're in the heat of arguments, he always finds a way to make me feel like I'm the unreasonable person and I'm being too mean to him. I don't know what to do. Does anyone have any advice on how to have this conversation? Too long didn't read. Husband has been unemployed for the majority of the past 5 years. I'm looking for advice on how to have the do better and I'm done, final warning kind of conversation with him. Girl, okay. So my initial statement still stands. if you're unhappy about something, I feel like if you want something to change, it's your responsibility to make that person aware of what you think the problem is and what or how you want things to change, to give them a chance to actually do that. I'm not a fan of people being pissed off at something, not saying anything about it, or just being super passive aggressive and then being like, right, that's it, I'm done, when you didn't even fucking tell the person that there was any issue in the first place. That's not what OP is doing here. OP has made it very clear throughout the past 5 years, look, you need to fucking get a job, you need to start pulling your weight around the house. This is not cool, this is not okay. She's also spoken to him about potentially being depressed, which I was also thinking about, like, if he's sleeping all day, can't, like, get into the coursework, like, not holding down a job or whatever. It could also be something like ADHD, where he's got this, what do they call it, this task inertia or whatever, where he finds it, like, difficult to start things, difficult to do things. Like, there could be genuine reasons why these things are difficult for him. However, that doesn't mean that after 5 years another person is obligated to put up with that. Sure, it might seem unfair, it might seem like they're being mean or whatever, but not everybody is going to be compatible with everybody. Sometimes shit just happens anyway, do you know what I mean? Like, I can't think of an analogy for that over the top of my head, but you know what I mean? And like, I'm neurodivergent too. I have ADHD, autism, PTSD, all these things. Yes, that makes certain things difficult for me, but that doesn't mean that I still can't be held responsible if someone else is unhappy with my behaviour. Do you know what I mean? So, yes, I think it's okay to have that conversation. I have no indication here that OP is, being mean to the husband, as in saying, like, you're lazy or you're useless or anything like that. It doesn't seem like she's saying that. It's just that she's like, look, you need to get a fucking job, and it seems as if he hasn't even really tried at all. So yeah, honestly, I think that conversation is just something that should be very clear and simple. Like, you've thought about it so many times already. He knows what the situation is. The only new piece of information that he needs to know is that he has one more chance, and that's it. So how to start the conversation? Fuck it, yeah, wake him up, or wait until he wakes up, whatever that is. But don't wait to have the conversation. Just be like, look, we've had this argument so many times before. I don't want to argue about it again. I just want you to know that I'm giving you one more chance to do what you said that you were going to do, to get a job and to, like, pull your shit together. And if you don't do it, then this time things are over. Just be, like, super clear, Like, if he thinks you're being mean or unreasonable, that's up to him. But the fact is that you're not happy with the situation. You've told him that several times. He's not changing it. So now you're at the end of your rope and you're saying this is it. This is the final chance. I think that's totally fine. You're just going to have that conversation. And it's shitty. Like I say, like, there might be genuine reasons why these things are hard for him, but it doesn't mean that someone else is obligated to put up with it. So, yeah. That's all the ones I had picked out. How did you find that? Like I say, I've been waiting for some juicy ones for a while. I feel like the last few episodes have been a bit like, yeah, something this, something that, but not so like, oh. But r/relationship advice done showed up today, huh? Did you enjoy that? I hope you did. I do have other videos that you can check out as well. Thank you so much for watching and for joining me today. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I will see you again next time. Bye bye, bye bye, bye bye.